Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for tuning in.
So, I'm sure you're all aware by now, especially if you have clicked on this video, that Netflix had decided to bless us with data from the first half of 2023. I am really excited about this opportunity to deep dive into their viewing numbers. I've been wanting it, and it is finally here. So, let's go through it and see what insights we can pick up. The importance of Netflix releasing this data cannot be overstated, and they can do more definitely. My favorite being Spotify, who release daily listening numbers, weekly charts on a daily basis, but this is a start. In Netflix's own words, the reason they did this is, we believe the viewing information in this report combined with our weekly top 10 and most popular lists will give creators and our industry deeper insights into our audiences and what resonates with them. So, let's get started, shall we? We see that the data they release contains 18,214 titles. This includes movies, series, documentaries, and all that content you can find on Netflix. I decided to break down this number into two parts, one for series and another for movies. I didn't have a precise flag to indicate what is a series and what is a movie, so I went with a basic rudimentary categorization. I define a series to be a title that has the words season, volume, part, limited series, and series. I know there's more criteria I could add, including identification of this in titles in foreign languages, but for now this is good enough. Of those, 6,592 are considered series using the criteria I mentioned earlier. Movies are those that are not included in the series list, and we have 11,622 movies. The content that has release dates is 26.7%, making it 4,855 titles, while the vast majority of it wasn't given a release date in the column. Therefore, the earliest release date of these titles is April 1, 2010, while the latest date is of course June 30, 2023, since this is the latest date we have. Moving on to a view of the most popular content on Netflix, let's start with the top 10. At number 1, we have The Night Agent Season 1 with 812 million hours of views. Next is Ginny and Georgia, The Glory, a Korean drama, comes in at number 3. Wednesday, Queen Charlotte, and You are some of the other titles in the top 10. Looking at titles in the 11th to the 24th spot, we have Manifest Season 4 starting off the list. The Mother is at position 14. The reality show Love is Blind Season 4 comes in at 17. Finally, rounding off the top 24 is To All the Boys I've Loved Before spin-off. EXO, Kitty Season 1. Did your favorite titles make the cut? If you're interested in the top films on Netflix, know that The Mother is at the top of the list with Murder Mystery coming in the 15th spot. You can pause these two screens if you want to make a note of these. Netflix also gave us a column to indicate if a title was released globally or not. Only 25% of the titles in the list were released globally, with the rest being regional releases depending on Netflix licensing and all that. As expected, the titles which were released globally are pretty much the ones that are in the top 6 of most popular titles. Interestingly enough, one non-global title, La Reina del Sur Season 3, is number 7 in popularity on the chart. Which makes me wonder how many territories it was released in versus all the territories that would have made it a global release. Without knowing these specific numbers, I can say that it is probably a very popular show in the territories it came out in, that its views eclipse a lot of global titles. Speaking of a ranking of non-global titles, we have Fake Profile in the second position, a Korean drama, at number 7 in this list, the very good and enjoyable drama Mr. Queen, which if you haven't seen, go watch because I cannot emphasize this enough, slaps. It is no surprise that content that caters to children also features heavily in this list, such as Paw Patrol and the hit Cocomelon. Instead of just taking the top views as is, let us take a look at combined seasons of shows instead. Redoing the calculations, you can see that Ginny and Georgia moves to the number 1 spot based on the views from both its seasons. Of course, based on when it was released, Season 2 had most of the views. The Night Agent is still a top-performing title, just sliding down to number 2, which is impressive considering there is just one season. Use combined views of all 4 seasons lands it in the 3rd spot. It moved from the previous spot of number 6 when only Season 4 was being looked at. That is how popular this Penn Badgley star is. Outer Banks goes from number 8 to number 4. The Walking Dead makes an appearance in the top 10 when all seasons are taken into account, which is not surprising considering there are 11 seasons viewers can watch. The Glory moves to position 6 versus its previous position of 3. La Reina del Sur is at position 7 in this case. CoComelon, which is not in the top 24 single-season view list, makes an appearance at position 8 when all 8 seasons are considered. Position 9 and 10 are occupied by multi-season long-running shows, Suits, and The Blacklist respectively. If you're looking for a very long show, you might be interested in the shows with the most seasons available on Netflix. We see, Sesame Street has loads of seasons, with season 50 and 49 being the latest seasons available. There is a season 32 of Survivor, and then Top Gear is also a contender with as high as season 31 available. Other shows you can check out include The Challenges season 25-21 seasons of Georgie Shore, Naruto, and Shippuden. If you do not mind reading subtitles or are a polyglot, there are numerous language shows on Netflix. Looking at the names of the titles and then using code to try to identify the language of the title, there are approximately 11,302 other language shows on Netflix. Of course, since this was done on just looking at a title, and automatically the accuracy is a tad questionable. Counting shows based on language, we see that English is the most popular language, with approximately 38% of titles being in English. To no one's surprise, based on the investment Netflix has made in Korea, it comes in as the second most popular language of shows on the platform. Going back to the questionable accuracy of the language identification, we can see Afrikaans being the 9th most popular language, which is very suspicious. Could some of these titles have been Dutch or other Scandinavian titles which were misidentified? Other popular language shows are Spanish, Japanese, Portuguese, and Tagalog. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I still want to do more analysis on this data, so I will be probably doing another video where I take a look at fan favorite shows, the views on cancelled shows, and movies by genre, to name a few things on my mind at the moment.
Do not forget to subscribe and like if you enjoyed this. Toodles!